Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you're already watching this on Facebook, YouTube will start at 7:15. I'm doing an audio check and getting everything else ready for the live 7:15 weather show. This is meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer, and we are talking about 2 first alert weather days, the possibility of some wet snow for Thanksgiving, and we'll talk about the impact on your travels coming up here. All right. That one, that one. Okay, I'm turning on some additional graphics that we're going to use here. And I'm almost ready to go. And still 7:11, so we've got 4 minutes, or just under 4 minutes. And we will begin to talk about all of this. So, okay, that's going. That's going. Looks like we're live on Facebook. Okay, 7:12. I'll be with you in about 3 minutes, everybody. Get my throat prepared with a little bit of Diet Mountain Dew. Okay, check Facebook. Okay, just about 2 minutes and I'll be with you. Well, it always just amazes me how nothing makes any sense in Facebook. Oh my God. What a cluttered mess this site is. Whoa. Okay, let's see here. All right, okay, I'm hitting the go live button for Facebook. We've got just under a minute and I'll be with you. And let's see here. It says we are live. And let's see if we've got it on Facebook. Okay, it is 7:15. Hi, everybody. This is meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer. And tell you what we're going to look at here is a view of a traffic camera at I-275 in Mineola Pike in northern Kentucky. And for those of you that don't live near the city, that's not far from the International Airport. You can see the raindrops and what they're doing to the light on the lens. And so we do have some rain coming down around the tri-state, and that rain is going to continue until after midnight, but it's going to be off and on. We're not looking at any severe storms, no flooding rains, nothing like that. And if we look toward the city from Turfway Park is right next to the International Airport. you can see the low gray cloud cover. You can see a few raindrops coming by the camera lens cover there every once in a while. Overall, generally you can see the glow of the lights of the city, but too much low cloud cover. But look at that temperature, 58 degrees. All right, so temperatures right now, okay, these would be the 7 p.m. temperatures. Upper 50s, one spot, actually, whoops, take that back. Two spots in our viewing area, still 60, or in the low 60s. Ashland is 61. Everybody else has cooled off a little bit. Ashland is not technically in our viewing area, but we understand we do have some people watching from there. And there are those temperatures around the tri-state. Now, the normal high is in the low 50s. Actually, it's about 50 right now, in some spots upper 40s. I can double check that for you. I can't believe I can't remember what the normal high temperature is, but let me give me a second here, and I will double check quickly. Okay, I'm going to the National Weather Service's website, and today's high was 61. The record was 70, and the normal high is 50, so I was right. It was right at 50 for that normal high. Now, you can see the shower activity moving rapidly to the north and east, so we'll have off and on showers around the area. And if you were hoping we wouldn't see rain tonight, let me tell you, it's still a good thing. I tell you what, we were so dry over the summer that we really need for that water to percolate down and saturate the soil. Not only at the surface or the top few inches, but we really need some of that water to make it all the way down a couple feet. Because when I dug down over a foot in my yard, the clay was dry and rock hard. That was in September, and it takes a long time to get that much of the soil wet. But we're on the way. It looks like a fairly wet pattern coming up, and you can see the rest of the radars will pop on there. There you see it. And in southern Illinois, the back edge of the rainfall already out of Illinois. The other area of rain that's with the front is moving through central Illinois. By 1:30, we should see the end of the rain around here. But we do have first alert weather days in effect. Okay, we've got one in effect for Wednesday. And the more and more we look at this, Thursday's probably not going to be an issue. That's Thanksgiving Day. But the rain begins Wednesday, late afternoon, early evening. It changes over to either wet snow or a mix of rain and snow. Air temperatures should be above freezing. Surface temperatures above freezing, so another wet, sloppy situation. But as we head into Thursday morning, the upper air is going to cool off more, and so more of that will make it to the surface as snow than rain. And so it might be there might be some slushy episodes around the tri-state on roads, but as it melts, we're not looking at anything cold enough to cause an icy situation for Thanksgiving morning. So if you're traveling Wednesday night, so you're going to Chicago, going to Toledo, going to Detroit up in Michigan, you will end up with some travel issues, but not traffic stoppers, probably just a slowdown. And then Thursday, that wintry mix ends probably by 9 a.m. in our viewing area. And then what we are also looking at here is dry weather as we head on into the weekend. And it's going to get much, much colder. But overall, I don't see, for a couple hundred miles in any direction from Cincinnati, I don't see any major issues for traffic coming our way right on through the Thanksgiving holiday. So here we go. You see the scattered shower activity there around the tri-state. Notice every once in a while you get a heavier downpour. It pushes off to the east, and by 1:30 a.m. it is gone from the tri-state. Now here's a wider view. You can see the rainfall. This is as of 8:50 p.m. It pushes off to the east. By the time we get to 6:50 a.m., it's all the way east of the Ohio River, moving through West Virginia and the mountains. So overall, it does not look like it's going to be an issue for the morning. And then Wednesday evening, what we're looking at here, all this pink stuff here, from central Illinois up into northern Indiana, northern Ohio, all the way over into Pennsylvania, and then down through our area, is a mix of rain and snow, and there are patches here where it's snow only. So what the model is telling you is it's a marginal situation. Just cold enough for snow to make it to the ground, and warm enough that it doesn't turn into a long-term icy situation. So right now it looks like that mix comes our way. Ground temperatures warmer than freezing, air temperatures warmer than freezing. It's still chilly out there, but warmer than freezing, and so this looks more like a wet Wednesday evening. Now, if I go back to full screen and put this back into motion, watch how quickly it moves off to the east. And there you see it. By the time we get to 8:20 a.m., it's pretty much moving out of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. The rest of Thanksgiving Day looks dry, and so I don't anticipate any really major issues. And there you see. Now, if you're driving north or coming back to the south from pretty far north, what you'll see here is you'll see some snow up to the north. Now in this area, it's cold enough, as the cold air works its way southward, it's cold enough for this to stick and be some slippery driving. So if you're coming from Grand Rapids back down to Cincinnati, through Detroit from lower Michigan, coming down from Cleveland, Toledo, if you're coming out of Washington State, New York State, through Pittsburgh on into Cincinnati, there will be a band of snow that may slow you down a little bit. It will be cold enough for that to stick and cause some slippery problems, but not around here. Notice you've got to go over 100 miles north for it to really be an issue. And go back to full screen. Well, let me tell you what. I'm going to stop this. We're going to go back to the beginning of this and start over, and I'll show it to you full screen because I just hit the wrong button. Okay, so there we are on Sunday morning, and that's the same kind of thing. We've got snow to the south this time, so if you happen to be going for Thanksgiving down to Nashville, down to Dollywood, into the national park, into Alabama or Mississippi, and you come north Sunday, you may see some snow and some slippery conditions. By then it'll be cold enough down that way to cause a few slick spots, nothing widespread. Okay, and then that is the end for the rest of the Thanksgiving weekend. Okay, then this evening the sun has been down since 5:19, so it's been down for 2 hours and 3 minutes. 52, the 11 p.m. temperature. Tomorrow morning, roads will be wet in spots still, but it'll be cloudy and breezy. No new precipitation coming down. And most of the roads will have dried out. Temperatures in the mid to upper 30s, so not cold enough for any kind of icy conditions. Still a little bit wet on the roads. Now watch what happens here. And what we want to watch is, okay, right in here where the lines you see are closely spaced, that's where the jet stream is. Notice the jet stream's dipping southward here, and this is today, about now. Go to full screen again. Now watch what happens with the colder air. Watch how the jet stream dips further and further and further south, but we just stay on the edge of that cold air. This ends on the 5th of December, and you can see the cold air is already beginning to push off to the north and east. But basically, this just came southward and just touched the Cincinnati area. And however, we do have flow out of the north, so this is cold air, but we're not going to be unprecedentedly cold. And this is what Tony Sands, my mentor, the guy that gave him my first job in TV at Channel 5 years ago, said he called it a genuflex in the Cincinnati area. Now, if you're not Catholic, that might not mean much to you, but that's when everybody takes a knee and goes into the pews at church. And so we just get a shot of pretty cold air, but we've got a long episode of below normal temperatures, not all of them Arctic cold. So we'll keep an eye on that. Climate Prediction Center, and we talked about this on Friday. Look at all that area that is colder than normal from the 1st to the 5th. By the time we get to the 9th of December, it's pushing off to the east, but still all the way out to the Missouri River, basically. It's colder than normal. And then this is the one that came out Friday, says all that cold air is going to be pulling off to the north and east. As we head toward Christmas, we're going to start going back to normal temperatures. Precipitation-wise, that is drier than normal from the 1st to the 5th. Whenever you get some pretty cold air, it's going to stay drier than normal. Doesn't mean no precipitation. It just means less precipitation than you would normally expect for that time. Same thing to the 9th and back to normal as we head toward Christmas Day. So we're keeping an eye on that. Okay, here's your 7-day forecast. 37 tonight, 45 tomorrow. Becoming partly cloudy. Kind of murky and gray in the morning, but it will clear out during the day. 34 and 47 with afternoon showers on Wednesday. Those showers Wednesday evening, overnight into Thursday morning will turn into a mix of rain and snow, sometimes just wet snow. Again, with road temperatures and air temperatures staying warmer than normal. Look at that, Wednesday 34 and 47, 38 and 43 on Thursday for Thanksgiving. We're talking maybe some slush that it would melt pretty quickly. Chance of a few flurries on Friday. Now, I just looked, the newest models, and I just showed you this, are saying that Saturday and Sunday will probably be precipitation free. So right now, earlier models were saying a little bit of snow flurry activity Saturday and Sunday. I may begin to drop that. I might drop that out because the models are coming around to a drier situation for that. And then Monday, partly cloudy. Now we go beyond the 7-day forecast. It's going to be, look at all those high temperatures in the 30s. Out of 7 days, we have 6 high temperatures in the 30s. We've got 2 days in the teens for the morning, and only 1 day as warm as 30 for the morning temperature. So, and then again, we have a chance mainly of snow Wednesday the 4th, and then the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th of December. We have those chances for additional snowfall. So it stays on the cold side. All right, 7-day plus looks like this. Okay, there are the high temperatures, there are the low temperatures. Look at the normal line for the highs. From 50 rather, drops to 45, and every one of those 14 days is colder than normal. The lows drop from 30, the normal low drops from 32 to 29, and 1 day, 2 days maybe, warmer than normal on this situation. No, actually, the line isn't tilted enough, so every day except the first one, colder than normal around the tri-state. So we end up with colder than normal weather for a time, and your takeaway is it'll be colder than normal for 14 straight days with several chances for snow as we head on into December. Okay, so let me go ahead and take a look at what's going on Facebook, and what we'll see here if we take a look at what's going on Facebook. See if anybody has any comments or questions. All right, there's the Facebook page. Susan Wally says, good evening. Hope today has been great. Yeah, it's been great. It's Monday, but yeah, Monday's good. And Susan, at my age, I'll tell. And again, when I was younger, I would have never thought I'd be quoting my father, just because young men are like that, and then when they get older, hey, my dad was pretty smart. My dad said, yeah, getting old sure beats the alternatives, and it does. Okay, and so Susan Wally's parents or family's driving up from Paris, Kentucky, Thursday. You think it'll be safe? Yeah, I'm not sure what time of day they're doing that, but it's going to stay warmer than freezing, even though some stuff will be coming down. So it might be a little bit slower driving through some rainy roads, but should not be a big issue. And again, it looks like it ends by 8:30 in the morning. So from Paris, Kentucky up to Cincinnati should be dry by then. So I don't know what time they're leaving, but a little cautious and a little bit slow because of the wet roads, but no ice in that. So they should be okay, and they should be okay heading home. Why am I not on Roku TV, says Brenda. Brenda, let me push the button. All the buttons are pushed. Brenda, let me know if it's come back up, because every once in a while these buttons seem to pop back out on their own if you don't push them hard enough. And it says that they're pushed, and I should be on Roku TV now. And again, I'll go over all this again for those of you if you missed it. So, okay, and those are all the comments. So Brenda Smith said, why are you not on Roku TV? Okay, Brenda, if you could send me another quick message if you see it now, I'd appreciate it if you hung in there. I will go back over what we've been showing, do the whole thing once again. I'm restarting the weather computer now, and I pushed the buttons again. They both said they were on, and so we should be on Roku TV now. Okay. Oh, and Brenda said it just came on. Okay, so what happened, Brenda? I had pushed the buttons, and it said, by the way they were lighted, it said to me that it was on. Apparently, I didn't push them hard enough, so that's my fault. And Brenda, I'll start all over for everybody that's on Roku TV that didn't get to see this. And that not only Roku TV, that'll be our app, our website, all the other platforms that we're on. So, starting out, this is at Mineola Pike, okay? And let me see here. This is near the International Airport, for those of you who don't live right here in Cincinnati. The roads are wet, but no real heavy rain or anything, and you can see all the lights look weird because of the raindrops that are on the lens cover. And then looking toward the city from Turfway Park, usually you can see the glow of the lights in the city, but the clouds are too low, and so you can't see that at all. But generally, light rain continues around the tri-state. Temperatures, again, in the 50s with a couple spots like Lunken Airport and the Butler County Regional Airport, still in the 60s. And Brenda Smith, by the way, I didn't say saying, but thank you for letting me know that, because unless somebody tells me, I can't tell what platform we're on, because we don't have monitors for all the different platforms. Okay, so still very mild out there. And as we head on into the overnight, it is going to dry out. By the time we get to 1:30 a.m. or so, the precipitation's gone. Temperatures drop off into the 30s, and everything begins to dry out. So we are, again, talking about an okay day tomorrow. Now, here's the shower activity on radar, and you can see it moving north and eastward. The biggest cluster of rain right now, and some of it's pretty heavy, from Warren County over into Clinton, into into Claremont, and then into northern Brown. Pretty soon moving toward Hillsborough. And I think you're probably going to see a good, good quarter inch out of this in some spots. But another good evening for the rain to soak in and help regenerate the soil moisture, because we had such a dry summer. It's dry so far down. If we can get through the winter and recharge all that soil, even a couple feet down, that gives the farmers a good position to start in, rather than starting with it dry and hoping that the rain will come. And that's what looks like is going to happen. Okay, so we zoom out a little bit here, and you can see that the back edge of the rainfall, it'll pop on there, is just to the east of St. Louis, and at the rate it's moving, it's gone by 1:30. 2 first alert weather days in effect. The rain begins Wednesday evening, changes over to snow, probably wet snow or a rain-snow mix, because we're right on that borderline. However, the important factors here, just like the last time we had that, when this rain changes over, air temperatures are warmer than freezing, ground temperatures are colder than freezing. I always get the question, okay, if it's warmer than freezing, how are we getting snow? Snow is just frozen water. Well, that's true, but the snow forms up here in what we call by several different processes, and then as it falls, it begins to melt. Well, if it's below freezing, just for down to near the surface, just maybe a couple hundred feet up, that stuff doesn't have time to melt once it gets into the air warmer than freezing near the surface, and that's what that happens. So wherever the snow forms, it's well below freezing. It warms up a little bit, and if the freezing level is above the surface, it goes this far to melt, but it doesn't all melt. And when the freezing level is on the surface, that's when you get more snow forming. So it's a matter of how cold it is and how close to the ground the freezing level is. All right, so back to this full screen. So it changes to snow overnight, but the ground temperatures, air temperatures stay warmer than normal, warmer than freezing, excuse me, and then the wintry mix ends early Thursday morning. All right, here's what it looks like overnight. Okay, you can see the shower activity, and it has it pretty well. Remember, we just looked. Let me stop this. We just looked at what it looks like over in. Okay, let's see. It's. Okay, now it might be off timing a little bit, but you can see the yellow spots right there, and so now I'm not sure. This might not be adjusted for daylight saving time, but you see that heavier rainfall in the same location we just saw it on radar. So it does look like the model's got a good handle on all this. Okay, so here it is on the wide view. Now we'll put this into motion. There's tonight's rain. We clear out tomorrow. You can see the back edge of the cloud cover by 7 a.m. already moving through the tri-state. We cloud back up, and then Wednesday we go into this pink area. Now the pink represents a mix of rain and snow. Blue is snow only, and so there are patches where it's cold enough for snow to make it to the ground, patches where it's a mix because the snow partially or almost all melts on its way down. But all the way from southern Illinois through southern Indiana, south to Lexington, north to maybe Bellefontaine, or even further north than that, and then on east, you basically have wet weather, okay? When you get into Pennsylvania and the higher elevations there along the Pennsylvania Turnpike, when you get east of Pittsburgh, you're probably going to end up with more snow, but still, ground temperatures out there are still pretty warm. So if you're traveling on Thanksgiving Day, and this is Wednesday, just before midnight, if you're going through that night, you're going to run through some wet roads to Chicago, up here to Grand Rapids, on up to Toledo or Detroit. You'll run on wet roads that night south to Lexington, down to Evansville, out to St. Louis. But watch what happens. Put this full screen again. Watch how quickly. This is just before midnight. And by the time we get to 8:30 a.m., it's pretty much gone. So if you're driving overnight Wednesday to get there early Thanksgiving morning, you'll run over some wet roads, maybe some slush, but no big icy areas, no big traffic stopping snowfalls. And then it pushes off to the east and stays dry. On Friday, if you're coming back from the north or heading to the north, let's say you're going up to Grand Rapids, Toledo, Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, you'll run through some snowfall up in northern Ohio. It stays way away from us, but up there it's going to be cold enough for it to stick and cause some problems on some of the smaller roads. I noticed that on Sunday, another system, but this one stays south. So for 100 miles in any direction from Cincinnati, we should have some wet roads for Thanksgiving morning, and then the rest of the Thanksgiving weekend looks like good travel. But on Sunday, if you're coming back from Nashville, you're coming back from maybe Dollywood or Asheville, or you went down into Alabama, you may end up with some slick driving there, especially on the higher elevations of I-75 once you get into southern Kentucky. But it stays away from us here in the Cincinnati area, and so if your travels only take you 100 to 150 miles away from the city, you're going to be fine. Okay, sunset was at 5:19. We're looking at temperatures dropping to 52 by 11 p.m. Roads will be wet in spots, but no new precipitation coming down for the morning commute. It just won't have time to dry out at this time of year. Temperatures tomorrow morning in the mid to upper 30s. Watch this. Now, again, the jet stream is right in here. Okay, basically where the green is here. That's where the jet stream is. And here's the cold side of it. Here's the warm side. I'll put this back to full screen. And what I want you to see is watch what happens to the cold air. Notice it begins to dive southward, but Cincinnati's just on the edge of it all the way through the 5th of December. Okay, so we're not having this drop into the, this would be, this right here would be a blast of Arctic air, really, really cold Arctic air, but we're just on the edge of this right on through the 5th of December, so we're going to be colder than normal through the 5th of December, but we don't get this brutal cold Arctic air into the tri-state. It stays to the north and heads over to the east, and it's going to be cold. Parts of Maine will be getting in the mornings close to 0 and that kind of air, okay? So if we take a look then, come on, computer. There we go. At the Climate Prediction Center's outlook, colder than normal for most, actually, everything from the high plains eastward, colder than normal through the 5th. Through the 9th, colder than normal weather pushes eastward a little bit, so we're still colder than normal, but not quite as cold. Excuse me. And then by the 23rd of December, we're starting to get back to normal as we head toward Christmas time. Drier than normal. Now remember, when you see the forecast I have coming up, I've got several days when there could be some snow. Just because it says drier than normal doesn't mean no rain. It just means less rain than we normally would get. So through the 6th, relatively dry. Through the 9th, relatively dry again, and then back to normal as we head toward Christmas Day. So as we head toward Christmas, back to normal temperatures, back to normal precipitation. Okay, here's your 7-day forecast. Overnight, we're looking at a low temperature of 37, a high of 45, 34 tomorrow night with a high on Wednesday of 47. Showers arrive in the afternoon, changing over that rain and snow mix or wet snow only as we head into Thanksgiving morning. But notice the temperature Thanksgiving morning, 38, 43 on Thanksgiving Day for the high, and so that means wet roads. Maybe slush if you get a heavy burst of snow that melts fairly quickly, but no icy stuff, nothing that'll stop traffic or strand you out in the middle of nowhere. Chance for a few flurries Friday. I'm rethinking Saturday and Sunday. Got an evening snow chance on Saturday and Sunday, but the models now are just saying that's not going to happen, so I'm going to have to look at it when I get done here. So I'm not really thinking that much is coming for Saturday and Sunday, and I just showed you the maps. And then Monday, partly cloudy. Okay, and then here is beyond the 7-day. Okay, and beyond the 7-day, we've got a chance of some snow, and any of these could be a snow-rain mix, depending on a few of the particulars that we can't tell at this point. But on the 4th, we have a chance of some snow, and then the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, we also have chance of snow, maybe a little bit of rain if it occurs during the warmer part of the day. And the 14-day temperature summary looks like this, okay? Low temperatures, high temperatures. Look at the normal line on the high side. Every single one of those 14 days is colder than normal, and most of the time it is colder than normal on the low side. And the takeaway, we've got colder than normal weather for about 14 straight days. We've got several chances for snow as we head through that time. And here again is a look at those days. Why is this not working? Okay, try it again. There we go. So as we head toward the 9th of December, We do warm back up on the low side to near normal, but not all that much. Okay, let me take another check, see if anybody else is checked in on Facebook. And let's see. Okay, there we go. Okay, and again, thanks to Brenda Smith for letting me know that we weren't on our other platforms. How cold will December be? Well, I just showed you most of that, but everything, and this is from Helen Brunton. Helen, up through the 9th of December, it's going to be kind of cold, not unprecedented, but definitely cold. And then as we head toward the end of the month, it should warm back up. So by the time we get to Christmas Day and that, we should expect temperatures in the morning to be in the 20s, highs in the 30s, which is about normal. Or upper 30s to low 40s, excuse me, which is about normal for that time of year. Okay, I just wanted to see what was going on here. And that's it. Okay, that is it, all the comments. So I thank everybody for checking in with me this evening. Sorry about the problem for Roku and all the other platforms. That didn't come on till late. We've got to check those buttons out, see if they need to be lubricated or anything. And that's it. Tomorrow we'll talk more about we'll have a much better idea of how much and the timing on the precipitations coming in toward Thanksgiving. But right now, does not look to be an issue for the Thanksgiving Day race. It'll be chilly in the morning. We are talking about 38. It's not bad for running. Maybe a little slush on the roads from the overnight activity, but shouldn't disrupt the Thanksgiving Day race for those of you running that. And that's it. Thanks for joining me. Have yourself a nice evening. Please join me again tomorrow. And don't forget, we're on at 10 o'clock tonight, starting at 4:30 a.m. Our morning crew is on. And then at noon, Ashley Smith will have a live half-hour weather show for you in the same place you found this one. So that's it. Have yourself a nice night. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you again.